Good evening everybody and welcome back to episode 72 of Open Crypto, where we keep you informed on a bi-daily basis. If you're interested in keeping fully up to date on all things crypto, then subscribe to the channel. We put out a new video every 12 hours. So tonight we're going to be talking about an article from CNN's business section, and it's about scams, a particular scam known as pig butchering. And it's titled, Beware the Pig Butchering Crypto Scam Sweeping Across America. This is an article written by Josh Campbell of CNN. Let's jump straight in as Bernie Madoff and of course SBF, we all know. So the FBI says America has a pig butchering problem and it's costing victims millions of dollars. We're not talking about what's going on at farms, said Frank Fisher, public affairs specialist at the Bureau's Albuquerque division. We are talking about a cryptocurrency investment scam that is sweeping the country. The term pig butchering refers to an unsuspecting victim, in this case the pig, being tricked by scammers into forking over money for a promised high rate of return. Scammers fatten up the pig by getting the victim to think that they are investing in something and get them to move money into crypto, says Santa Clara County, California District Attorney Jeff Rosen, whose office manages a multi-agency task force combating technology-related crimes. Once criminals fatten up their victims' digital wallets, they steal the money, Rosen says. Pig butchering operations typically begin with a rudimentary approach, Rosen tells CNN. Scammers blast out millions of unsolicited messages each day to unsuspecting victims via text message and social media, often with an innocuous note like, "Hi, how are you?" The scammer operating under a false identity builds a relationship with the victim, sometimes over just a few weeks, before suggesting the victim invest in crypto. One technique involves assuring a victim that the scammer has made significant profits in crypto, persuading the victim that they shouldn't miss out on the benefits of crypto investments. Those who fall for the scam are coaxed into sending more and more money, and even provided with fictitious financial statements that make it appear their investments have made a substantial return. This is where the fattening up of the pig comes in, Rosen says. Eventually, you become a little suspicious. You try contacting the person that contacted you online and ask for your money back, but that person has ghosted you, i.e. doesn't get back to you. This sounds a little bit like a Ponzi. The only difference I would say between this pig butchering method and a Ponzi is that Ponzis are usually way more sophisticated and have a kind of hierarchy. That's why it's known as a pyramid scheme. I'm not going to go into what a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi is. There's so much information. I mean, just type in YouTube, what is a Ponzi, and there's lots of videos explaining it. So you don't need me to explain that here. The other interesting thing is that what I always try to do on this channel is to get the point across that this kind of scam and this kind of illegal behaviour existed long before crypto. As soon as the internet came out and when we got emails, we've all had them emails from a prince in Nigeria saying that he's been, that he needs money to get out of the situation. He actually is some kind of prince. He's got loads of money. He's got $10 million, and he just needs $1,000 from you or $1,500 from you to release his money, and then he'll pay you back, and you'll be, he'll give you half. He'll give you $5 million back. After we've all had them sort of phishing attempts on our email addresses, and this is kind of the same, but they're just using Twitter, text messages, because it makes it a little bit more personal. And so that's how they're doing it. Another thing that they'll do that's slightly more sophisticated than this method is what they'll do is they'll try to get you to deposit some crypto. They'll befriend you. They'll get you to deposit some crypto, say $1,000, and they'll offer you a high yield. So 20%, 25%, something ridiculous that it's just unsustainable. And what will happen is they will then pay you back. So they'll promise in a week I can give you 25% back or something like that. They may even, which would be obviously $250, they may even send you back $250 just to persuade you and just to prove to you, I'm using the word prove loosely, but to prove to you that this is working. They may even do it a couple of times and send you the next week send you another $250 just to prove that this is real, what's happening. And all he's done is just sent you back $250 of your own money, in the hope that he can then say to you, this is working, do you want to put in another $5,000? And this is where it's like a Ponzi, because Ponzi's work like this, just on a more sophisticated level. And so then you put in your $5,000 and that's it, it's gone then. You won't hear back from him after that. So there is a sophisticated side to this. This doesn't look like this is what they're explaining, but I have seen that before in crypto, and you've seen that in traditional finance as well with fiat currencies. It's not unique to crypto. Rosen says the holiday season is an especially lucrative time for scammers, as they often prey on people who may be feeling lonely. And while the initial approach is uncomplicated, Rosen says the actual scamming operations his team has investigated, which typically operate overseas, including in Cambodia and China, involve highly sophisticated methods. They've been trained by psychologists to try to figure out the best way to manipulate people, he says. You are dealing with people that are going to use different psychological techniques to make you vulnerable and to get you interested in parting with your money. And that's true. They'll do it, they'll make them out to be some kind of love interest. They'll try and get you romantically involved with them. They'll try to find out little bits of your life by being very friendly and not even mentioning money in the beginning. Try to ask how are you, and it would be kind of rude to not answer, yeah, I'm fine, thank you, how are you, it's nice, sorry for contacting you and stuff like this, but I just feeling, they may even say that they feel a bit lonely, and so you befriend them and you start talking maybe over a few days. They're quite patient as well, so they're not going to bombard you on day one. They're not stupid people. And that's how they do. They basically prey on vulnerable people and gullible people, if I can say that. Experts say basic awareness and diligence are key to guarding against online predators. Be very careful when you go on social media and dating apps and somebody starts developing a relationship with you and wants you to start investing, says the FBI's Fisher. Don't get butchered. Another dead ringer. As shoppers spend billions online this holiday season, the FBI says it has also seen a rise in scams involving the mega retailer Amazon. Online criminal scams are only limited by their imagination, and they have an impeccable sense of timing, says Fisher. In one type of scam, somebody calls you and purports to be from Amazon or another wholesaler distributor, and they say there's a problem with your credit card. The scammer then asks for a new credit card number. Another variation of the Amazon scam involves a criminal calling a potential victim and indicating a suspicious purchase has been flagged on the user's account, which has resulted in the suspension of purchasing privileges. The victim is asked to make a payment by credit card right then to reinstate the account. Sometimes they'll even threaten to report you to law enforcement regarding your purchase. These guys will try everything in the book. They will try to befriend you, they'll use, be nice to you, be kind to you, try to get out of you that way. If that don't work, they'll switch tactics and they'll start being nasty to you, like the article saying, threatening you with the law and the police, or they might threaten you with violence, go one further, and criminality and sort of stuff like that. They'll do anything that they can think. There's no limit to the imagination of what these guys will do. Sometimes they'll even threaten to, I've read that. Amazon's security team advises consumers that the company will never ask a customer for personal information, and users should not respond to emails requesting account data or personally identifiable details. The company said in a statement that it has worked to remove thousands of online phishing websites and phone numbers associated with impersonation scams, and has referred suspected scammers to law enforcement agencies worldwide. Scammers who attempt to impersonate Amazon put consumers at risk, said Dharmesh Mehta, Amazon's Vice President of Selling Partner Services. Although these scams take place outside our store, we will continue to invest in protecting consumers and educating the public on how to avoid scams. The FBI says other types of scams on the rise this holiday season are largely aimed at defrauding senior citizens. This is where it gets really bad. Scammers tend to focus on the elderly because they know they are trusting, and they know older Americans usually have more money, says Fisher. In so-called sweepstakes scams, victims are contacted and congratulated for winning a sweepstakes prize, but they are told that they must first send money to cover taxes and processing fees that can be exorbitant. Legitimate sweepstakes will not do that, says Fisher. They will not make you pay in advance to collect your money. Almost nothing where you win something, if you win the lottery or you win a scratch card, you're not required to part with more money to collect your winnings. It just doesn't happen in normal day-to-day life. So it should raise your eyebrows. Anybody contacting you on the internet wanting any kind of information whatsoever. It may seem a little bit unfriendly, but just ignore them. Just don't reply to them. Don't bother. The chances of it being somebody trying to scam you are so high, and that someone just by chance has contacted you is just unlikely. You've usually been targeted. And they'll target people as well online on Twitter and Facebook, because they can see how old you are, they can see where you live. That's one of the problems with social media. It gives out a lot of information that you don't necessarily, although you thought about it when you filled out your Facebook application, not your Facebook application, but when you signed up for Facebook or you signed up for Twitter, 6 months down the line, a year down the line, you forgot that you've done that. You've completely forgot. So you may think that they're just contacting you randomly, but it's often targeted. There were approximately 60 fake sweepstakes victims in New Mexico alone last year, whose collective losses totaled $1 million, he says. The FBI suggests people check in with elderly relatives and friends about their online habits and whether they may have been targeted by cybercriminals. If somebody has approached them and wants to be their friend and develop a relationship, Fisher says, ask questions. And so that's what I've got for you today. And really the message from this is just be careful. One of the things that I do on this channel, or should say don't do, is contact anybody. I will never contact you. I will not contact you on WhatsApp. I will not ask for your telephone number. I will not contact you on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, you name it, any social media. I will not contact you. The only thing I will do ever is if you decide to write a comment on the videos, I will reply. But I will not solicit you. I have no interest in taking anything from anybody that watches my videos. So bear that in mind, because there has been people trying to impersonate me already, even though it's a young channel. I have had reports from people, from good people that follow the channel, that have been contacted by people pretending to be me, basically, and asking them to, send the number, send information, send them some money, some crypto, and all stuff, because they obviously know that my audience is obviously into crypto. So that's what I've got for you tonight, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, everybody, to please subscribe to the channel, join our team, and we'll keep you updated on all things crypto every 12 hours. Smash the like button if you feel you got value from this video, and I'll see you all in 12 hours.